Chapter 261 of Black Clover is pretty much a dull chapter until the very end. Compared to the most recent chapters of Black Clover, there's pretty much no action in this one at all. But because of the ending, it really made up for it. But one thing I'm kind of upset about is that we didn't get to see Yami at all in this chapter. But ever since the last chapter, the whole community has been asking what's going to happen to Yami and William. Also, people have been asking what's the next move for the Dark Triad ever since they captured Yami and William. But these questions could be answered in the next few chapters. For now, I'd like to get into the newest chapter. At the beginning of the chapter, we see Owen, Finral, Gray, Asta, and Ghost all just sitting there, but Asta appears to be asleep after his long battle. Owen says Asta's life is not in danger, but he's worried about Asta's right arm because he never seen anything like this before. Therefore, he can't do anything about it. And we see that the Clover Kingdom has found out about the going down annihilation. And for the other Black Bulls, they only suffered minor injuries. Now we cut to Finral's face where he looked defeated, stating that he only survived because of Asta and Yami, which is clearly true. Finral could not do anything against the devil user. Then Gray asks Owen to give Ghost a proper look because he was hit with a sword. It had appeared to kill Ghost, but Gray ended up saving his life. I'm glad that the author of Black Clover didn't skip over this because this builds character development between Gray and Ghost. Once Owen took a look at Ghost's chest, he was surprised. Owen stated that Ghost's scar didn't even look like he got hit, and that he was beyond recovered. Owen even thinks that Gray's transformation magic might not be her true nature. But before this scene is over, we cut to Vanessa and Finral questioning what they're gonna do for the next captain meeting up that's only in a couple days. But I'm guessing they couldn't think of no option, so they just went to go get some rest. Now that we're starting to get to my favorite part of the chapter, we cut to Asta, which he appears to be waking up from his slumber. I'm guessing he had a nightmare of Yami getting taken away, or something traumatic, but he looks like he has PTSD. Next he sits up, but he looks like he's hyperventilating, and he looks over to his right arm, which is still in his demon form. And out of nowhere, Asta's grandma appears and it opens up, and Yami Katana come out. Asta sees this, which he's clearly struggling from PTSD, and he runs out the room as fast as he could. He runs so far to the point he comes out the building, which he starts to think he cannot move any longer. And right behind him, a person is standing there asking him, where is he going? Now we get to see the man's full body, and we see that he has his grimoire open. Asta starts to think that his magic is holding him back, but Asta doesn't care. All he can think about is going to save Captain Yami. Then the person behind him says he can't. Just to take a break from the review, I don't know if this is an example of mind reading, because I don't know if Asta said it out loud, but I think he was thinking it, and the person in the back just read his mind. But back into the review, this person somehow knows that Asta fought one of the Dark Triad, and he said no chance. But he reminds Asta that there's two more Dark Triad members that's just as strong as him, and he says that Asta Devil has given up on him. Next he called Asta stupid and reckless for trying to go save Yami in his current state, which I mean he's not wrong, because he can't really do nothing after almost risking his life to save Yami the first time. After that, Asta is struggling to speak, says he has to go save Yami, but the shadow figure behind him asks, why don't he just let Yami stay there and not risk his life? This clearly bothers Asta. So Asta states that this man doesn't even know Captain Yami, but on the contrary, this man actually does. And this man just disrespected Captain Yami, saying if he lost, he's just an idiot anyway. Now Asta's fed up, he actually calls for the Demon Slayer sword, and it just drops in front of him. Then he reaches into the grimoire and calls for the Demon Dweller sword. But the man behind Asta is clearly not weak. He actually puts an end to Asta's attack very fast, when multiple shadow hands come in and pushing Asta to the floor. Then this next part is very interesting. The person behind Asta says if a human can't even defeat him, then he has no chance in rescuing Captain Yami. This just make it worse for Asta, because he remembered how his devil said it's his fault for being weak and not being able to save Captain Yami. So with nothing else to do, Asta just sits on the floor and cries. He says if only he was stronger, but the person in front of him cuts him off, calling him a fool. Then he says he actually likes Asta and he's a good person. Well, Asta, clearly confused, asks, who the heck are you? Now for the big reveal, he says I am the vice captain of the Black Bulls, Noct. And he says he can help Asta with his devil form. I forgot to mention, once we see the person's full face, we actually see two devil horns on his forehead. So this shows he's a devil user. I also forgot to say that we found out that Yami is alive from Noct himself, telling Asta that he's alive. And I got two things that I want to talk about before I end this video, and that's Gray transformation magic and the news vice captain, Noct. The first person I want to talk about is Gray, And as you can see, she's becoming more and more OP as the story goes along. We just learned in the Elf arc that she could change different magic types, which is OP in itself. And now we just learned that she can actually use healing magic. This is just stacking. I believe that she might be one of the most OP characters by the end of the series. Another thing about Gray, this is actually towards her character development. I feel like that her and Gosh might start getting along more ever since Gosh actually saved her at the beginning. Instead of Yami being the one to save her, Gosh actually is the one who saved her. Also, when Gosh was stabbed through the heart, Gray was the one of the people crying, saying that she wanted Gosh to notice her more. And she actually repaid the favor by saving his life just now. And that's pretty much all I have to say about Gray. I just wanted to mention her real quick, just because that transformation magic, I feel like that could really be one of the most overpowered things in the story. I just wanted to bring that to your attention. Now for the part I really wanted to get to since the beginning of this video, is the new vice captain. I really thought Asta was going to become the vice captain after this moment, but I was clearly wrong. Not to mention, this is not the first time we actually seen this character. We actually seen him undercover in the Spade Kingdom, taking one of their officers. I'm pretty sure that was him. And he was using some type of shadow magic like he is now against Asta. And the fact that the vice captain is adding a new magic style, shadow magic, into this series, I actually want to see how this is really finna play out. Like, I want to see his monozone, how he could use that, and pretty much I want to just see the abilities he could use. One thing I noticed during the chapter was that this all took place during nighttime, and shadows were everywhere. I think this might be the peak where he could use his ability. That's one of the reasons I think Yami sent him to do a stealth mission, or he might just did this on his own. I'm really not for sure. I don't know if Yami sent him on this mission alone, or he just did it by himself, because Yami's such a laid-back captain. I really don't expect him to give orders to go to the Spade Kingdom, especially since they really didn't notice nothing until now. I also want to mention that he's a devil user, and he can actually help Asta, because Asta really don't know how the devil power works. We just know he is anti-magic. This will just add to the power he got from the 6-month time skip, where he already came back stronger than expected. But that's pretty much all for the chapter review. I'm just excited to see the Dark Triad next move, ready to see what Asta can do after this training, and I want to see the vice captain himself, and I also want to see his backstory. Other than that, thank you for watching the video. Like, comment, subscribe, and I got a Twitch, it's Mano82, you should go check that out. And I also do the podcast, Clover podcast. And if you want to see more videos like this, I got one in the link trial. It's a discussion at there. Go ahead and check that out. And in the description, I'll put the link to the video, to Twitch, and my Clover podcast, what I do with my friends. But other than that, thanks for watching.